Hello students, how are you? Hope you are doing well. Today in geography, we are going to continue chapter 7 population. Let's do a small revision on population. Population is the number of people living together in a particular area or a region. Now, there are different aspects to be considered while studying population, which are population growth, population distribution, population density, and structure of population. Population growth. The increase or decrease in population is related to birth rate, death rate, life expectancy, and migration. Birth rate is the number of live births per thousand people in a year. Death rate is the number of deaths per thousand people in a year. Life expectancy is the average lifespan of an individual. Migration is the movement of population from one place to another. Migration can be divided into two parts: in migration and out migration. In migration, when people come in to a region from outside for residence. Out migration is when people move out of a region for residential purpose. The next aspect is population distribution, which means the way in which people are spread across a given area. It can be divided into two parts: sparsely or thinly populated. Second, densely or thickly populated. Now, there are factors affecting the distribution of population, which are physical factors, second, economic factor, third, political factor, fourth, social factor. The details of which were covered in the last lecture. You can even read the chart given in the textbook. Next aspect, density of population. Density of population is the ratio of the population of a country to its area. The formula to calculate the density of population is population of a region divided by area of a region. Now, today we will learn about the structure of population. Structure of population means the composition of a population. Population can be subdivided into various categories. They are: first, sex ratio; second, age structure; third, occupational structure of the population; fourth, area of residence; fifth, literacy; and last one is migration. Now, first topic is sex ratio. As per the gender, population can be divided into males and females. Now let's see what is the definition of sex ratio. The number of females per thousand males is called sex ratio. In a population, when both the genders are around the same number, it is indicate a balanced population. If the number of females per thousand male is less, the sex ratio is considered to be low. On the other hand, if the number of females per thousand male is more, the sex ratio is considered to be high. From these points we can come to know, if the females are less, it is low sex ratio, and if the females are more, then the sex ratio is high. Let's see the formula to calculate the sex ratio. Total number of females divided by total number of males multiplied by 1000. From this formula, we can calculate the sex ratio of a region. Now, in region where the proportion of female is more than males, the outmigration of men is high. Outmigration is very often for employment purposes. For example, Kerala. On the other hand, where the proportion of females is less than males, in most cases the birth rate of females is less. Example, Haryana. You can see in the graph. Next topic is age structure. In a region, when the population is subdivided as per the age groups, this is called the age structure of the population. Age structure is helpful in knowing the proportion of children, young, middle age, and old people in population. Age structure can be divided into two categories. First one is productive population and second one dependent population. Productive population. In India, the productive population is the population between the ages of 15 to 59. This group of people is active in service and business. They directly participate in the economic activities of a region. When the proportion of this population is more, the development is rapid. Second group is dependent group. The dependent population fall into two subgroups. The people below 15 years of age are totally dependent on the productive population. For example, you children. People above 60 years also fall in the dependent category, but their knowledge and experience make them a valuable asset to the whole society. For example, your grandparents, they have immense knowledge about everything. Now next topic is occupational structure of the population. The population of a region can be classified into working and non-working groups. The people who are not in a job or professions despite being in the productive age group come under the non-working group. This non-working group is dependent on the working group. If the proportion of working population is higher in a region, then the population is termed as industrious. Such a region has rapid development. Next topic is area of residence. The population of a region can be divided into two groups as per the area of residence, that is rural and urban. People in rural areas are mainly employed in primary occupations, and in urban areas the proportion of people working in secondary and tertiary occupation is large. Population in the rural area is involved in the production of food grains. The urban population is dependent on the rural population for the supply of food grains. Example of primary occupation: agriculture, fishing, mining, etc. Example of secondary occupation, like industries, making cars. Third one is tertiary occupation. Examples: teaching, nursing, social network, banking, etc. Now let's talk about literacy. In society, some people are literate and others are illiterate. In our country, a person who can read and write is termed as literate. This definition can vary from one country to another. The percentage of literacy throws light on the quality of the population. People above the age of 7 can be classified into literate and illiterates. Literacy is an indicator of social economic development of a society. If the percentage of literacy is higher, then the country develops socially and economically. Literacy leads to the development of a cultured and progressive society. It is said that literacy is directly related to development. Let's see. The country with high literacy rate develops rapidly in economic, social, and cultural aspect. The country with low literacy rate faces many obstacles in its economic, social, and cultural growth and development. Literacy rate is related to quality of life, the opportunities available, and freedom. Thus, literacy is directly related to development. Kerala has the highest literacy rate of about 96.2%, while Andhra Pradesh has the lowest literacy rate as compared to other states, which is 66.4%. For homework, you will find out the literacy rate of Maharashtra. Migration. The movement of an individual or a group from one place to another is termed as migration. This could be for a short period, long period, or permanently. Marriage, education, business, transfer, tourism, natural calamities, wars, etc. are the reasons why people migrate. There are many kinds of migration. During COVID time, we saw a lot of people migrate back to their natives. Regions from where people migrate show a fall in population. Such regions experience a shortage of manpower. On the other hand, the areas to which they migrate show an increase in population and a strain on the public amenities and facilities. Due to migration, the composition of the population also changes. Population, a resource. This is very important topic. Population as a resource is an important for economic, social, and cultural development of any country rather than population numbers. It is the quality of population which is important. Along with the percentage of literacy, sex ratio, and age group, health, educational level, etc. are also considered while thinking of population as a resource. The supply of skilled and unskilled labor depends on the quality of population. That's why quality of population is important, not quantity. The economic and cultural development of any country depends upon the volume and the quality of population. If a country has a high volume and less quality of population, it has slow economic growth and development. If a country has optimum population with high quality of population, it has fast economic growth and development. Thus, population is an important resource. With this, I would like to end today's session. I hope you understood and enjoyed this important lesson. Stay safe and take care of yourself. Thank you.